Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Casper Network, aka CSPR. So with that being said, before we dive on in, I just want to ask everyone, how are you all feeling about the market? Are you bullish or are you bearish? Hit that like button and comment down below if you are bullish. If you are bearish, I'd still love to hear from you. But beyond that, right now, currently speaking, I'm looking at this market, specifically Casper, right? With Casper, we're starting to see a lot of people on edge. We're starting to see a lot of people saying Casper's a scam because it hasn't done this and it hasn't done that. But I want to just show you guys something. So I shared my thoughts about these currencies, specifically with HBAR and their movements, right? Casper is in a very similar scenario where we have this low going all the way back to the summer of 2022, followed by the low in December, and then followed by the low just recently in October. The one thing we are watching for right now is for Casper to hold this low, because what this will tell us is that Casper is still making higher lows, and what we really want to see is Casper break over 4 cents and ultimately regain some traction and break over the high from April of this year, which is right around the 6 cent zone. This will solidify the fact that Casper is making a new higher high, and it's also creating a higher low. So that's the number one thing to watch for on a lot of these projects. Now, we're not sitting here saying, hey, Casper's been very bullish, because it hasn't, right? Like, we've been going sideways, but that should be bullish for those that do want to accumulate a lot more Casper, because it is giving you a lot more time. Remember, Casper still has a ton of listing opportunities on major exchanges, and this thing is still sitting at sub $500 million in market cap. And if we are talking about going into the next major bull run, there's going to be a lot more money pouring into this space than 2021, for an example. And we know that the top 20 had roughly almost $10 billion worth of market cap. So think about where Casper will go in the next major bull run and how much money will be in this market at that time. I'm projecting a $5 to $7 trillion market cap for all of crypto. And if that is the case, then the top 20 would most likely have anywhere between $15 to $20 billion plus in market cap. And it could be a lot more, but that's what I'm looking at. Now, before we fully dive on in, I just want to let you guys in on the secret. So Black Friday deals are around now in this space, and DCENT Wallet has given us a 40% off sale. That is right, a 40% off sale to get some cold storage for your crypto and make sure that you are secure this holiday season. There's roughly almost 11 days remaining to go and grab your DCENT Wallet at over a 40% discount. And if you guys do use my link, you can get one biometric wallet for $50 off, or two and give one to a loved one for over $128 off. A 2-pack for $190. Now, mind you, not like these wallets don't come pre-installed in terms of like your actual biometrics, because I've seen a comment on a previous video, which means guess what? You could give one of these to a loved one that might be in crypto. Maybe they're interested in crypto, and it could allow them to secure their crypto holdings as well as you securing yours as well. So what are you waiting for? Go get a DCENT Wallet for a 40% off plus discount right now. It's the time. It's the time of the year. So with that in mind, let's dive on in. So, like I said, Casper has not been extremely positive, and the overall sentiment in the market also hasn't really been that positive. The X Frontier, which is an incredible individual, by the way. If you guys have not been following him, I highly suggest you guys do. He just recently decided to take a break from content creation. But what do you see? From the X Frontier, I've been taking and continuing to take a much needed break from creating content both on X and YouTube. Appreciate everyone that has tagged along and stayed throughout my journey. Much love. Let's get to the point. There's been so much negativity and FUD within the Casper community as of late regarding things like lackluster price appreciation, team selling tokens, no exchange listings, lack of transparency, failed partnerships. Want the cure for that? do your own research and fact check everything you read. Invest only what you can afford to lose. Understand that 99% of crypto, well, it's hype. Understand enterprises move slow. Picture what you think is slow and now dial it back 10 times. But most importantly, like really, do your own research. I saw a screenshot circulating the Casper Telegram regarding Fuzhou, BSN China, and Casper partnership no longer being active, and let me tell you, it spread rapidly and people were freaking out. And here you guys have the actual image. Again, this is a screenshot, but we do see this is true. The Fuzhou agreement ended. However, the BSN and Casper connection is still active. No failed partnerships here. The current BSN partnership with Casper is regarding the city of Chengdu, top 10 smart city in China out of 900. And here you guys have Chengdu chain, Casper, coming soon, temporarily not supported in terms of the external node and interchain. But the status is still coming soon. I understand the emotions that come with pouring your hard-earned money into an asset that seems to be going sideways or in the wrong direction when compared to the overall market. Remember what I've always said though, there will always be one currency in this space that is a little bit shy, right? And it doesn't mean that's shy forever, but we will start to see a lot of big breakouts. We'll start to see meme coins going 10x. We'll start to see this coin, doing a 500% run up in, 24 hours. While your favorite altcoin, well, it's slumped, it's sleeping, it's boring. And you might get that itch and you might be like, oh, well, maybe I should transact and just, switch over my Casper to this or, my HBAR to that. That's when you start making terrible, irrational decisions. Always go back to your foundation on why you invested in the first place. Have some conviction. If your emotional brain caused you to hit the buy button on Casper rather than your rational brain, you already lost half the battle. Could the team work on better communication and transparency? Absolutely. Does the team owe retail investors an explanation for everything they do? Here's the harsh truth. No. There are no legal rights that token holders are entitled to. The space is unregulated. Simple. Owning equity and tokens are two very different things. As far as tokens being sent to exchanges, part of that is for operational cost and growth. Exchange listings will come. Still researching, still believe in the team, still holding my Casper. Nothing is guaranteed, but the vision for this technology is clear. Tokenizer sums it up. And here we have from Tokenizer, the reward of being early to innovation outweighs the safety and security in being late. When you're early, you'll be faced with the risk of speculation and not knowing what's to come. When you're late, everybody always knows it's the next best thing and there's little to no reward left. By the way, I don't get paid to promote Casper, neither do I. Never have, never will. Me as well. When will I begin to worry? When we get a full face ripping blow off top, bull run, and Casper is still at 3 cents. Until then, relax. Rant over. I'm sure I was all over the place anyway, or anyhow, back to my Zen. And listen, I think a lot of people are just under-researched when it comes to Casper. Even Tokenizer responded back to this and said, few understand going from Fuzhou to Chengdu actually benefits Casper. Also, says a lot for how BSN and China's government sees Casper, given that we upgraded from a mid-tier city in China to one of the top 10. We miss you, man. Quit making me do all the Casper work. And by the way, here's a post from the Casper BSN partnership. This is one that you need to be looking into. Like I said, if you're not following Tokenizer, he is a part of the Web3 Alert, which is my media company. He's an incredible researcher and he does incredible work. So definitely go check him out if you haven't already. But as we really kind of look at what's happening here, it seems as though there is a lot of FUD regarding Casper. And it's at a time where I think that a lot of people just don't understand where we are at right now in the market. Like when we go back in time to ADA or Solana or Dogecoin, and I know I'm bringing up Dogecoin and you're probably saying like, Nick, what are you doing bringing up Dogecoin? The fact is that this is the type of market that we're in. But remember, right? Like these altcoins did not just blow up randomly. ADA is a perfect example of it topping back in January of 2018 and it not making significant moves in the market until roughly March of 2020, and that's when it had its all-time low. After that is when we start to see the moves. And even then, it didn't make a new all-time high until roughly February of 2021, 3 years later. So as we look at where we are at in this market, like there's a lot of altcoins out there, but I think people fail to realize that you need to go through all of this in order to see this. And the same goes for like even Solana. I know that, Solana doesn't have a lot of price data, but this thing did go sideways. It did have some nice moves back in the August 2020 timeframe. A lot of altcoins did. And then it sold off, right? And then it went on a massive tear. And just recently, this is where we start to kind of see how any coin reacts. We have the all-time high back here, right? November of 2021. This thing was slumped. It was going sideways. Yes, it did have some nice moves here along the way, but for the most part, all of the big moves just recently started again in November of 2023, 2 years later. So as we look at these altcoins, they just go sideways until they don't anymore. And the same thing goes with Dogecoin. Dogecoin went sideways all through, 2014 all the way up to about roughly 2017 before it broke out. And then it topped January, sideways all the way up until roughly December of 2020. So again, we need to be patient here. And remember what I said, right? Like going into this next bull run, there is going to be a lot of money on the table here. I have two historical snapshots. This is one from May 16th. This is where we start to see the market already kind of topped. I mean, even if you go back to the previous weeks, you can kind of see where a lot of the market was. Top 15 was sitting at about roughly almost 4 billion. Top 20 was sitting anywhere between roughly like 10 to 10.3 billion dollars. Then we have another historical snapshot. This is November 7th. This is right around where most of the market was already topped out on. This was the major signal that we were topped. And the top 20, well, guess what? Had $11.6 billion in market cap. Right now, just to put things into perspective, because this is the top 20, 11.6 billion. 11.6 billion will get you into the top almost 8, which is crazy. The top 20 right now has $4.3 billion market cap. If Casper manages to get into the top 20 in the next cycle, and say for so, the top 20 is 10 billion to 11 billion, almost $12 billion in market cap. Well, Casper is going to see some significant moves in the market. And we're just talking about the top 20 here. We're not talking about top 10, top 5, or anything crazy like that. Just the top 20. And I know to some people like top 20 is pretty big, but when we're talking about Casper, it has a ton of substance behind it and a ton of opportunity. So if we're talking about that, right? So here's Dogecoin. Dogecoin has almost $11 billion in market cap right now. One Casper would be equal to 94 cents, an upside of almost 29x. If Casper had the market cap of ADA, which has 13.2 billion, it's a little bit over our $12 billion. But again, if we're talking about the next cycle, well, we could see the top 10, top 20, and possibly even the top 25 seeing multiple billion-dollar plus market caps. And this is where we really kind of start to see and guess, will the top 20 have a 13 to 15 billion to possibly even a $20 billion market cap? It's possible. But what if Casper manages to surprise everyone, including myself, because I'm not expecting this? What if it hits the all-time high market cap of Dogecoin or even ADA? Well, that's where things get very significant. We're talking about a 200 plus X move. Now, I'm not saying that Casper is going to almost $8 billion in market cap. I'm just saying it's possible. Anything is. That's what's interesting about a market that is full of speculation. When we look at also ADA, well, here's talking about a 250x, an $8.30 Casper, $95 billion in market cap. And again, this is possible. This could happen. So this is one thing that I've been very focused on, is the moves that could possibly happen with Casper. Obviously, I'm sitting here and I'm just saying, yeah, I think that $10 billion in market cap is fair. I do. And that is a 28x. That is nothing to say, oh, that's disappointing. because this is not disappointing. This is a 28x. That's $28,000 off of $1,000 invested. That is a significant amount of money. So when we look at some of these moves in this market, I think that too many people get caught up in the fact that, oh, Casper is boring right now. But anything is possible. If we see moves like ADA or Dogecoin, then yeah, we could see a 200x run in Casper. And this is not me trying to sell you the used car and trying to get your hopes up. I'm just saying, like, what really pushed Dogecoin to the market cap that Dogecoin had? Or what really pushed ADA to the market cap that ADA had? It was all off of hype, practically no substance. It was just all hype, FOMO, speculation. When it comes to Casper, well, guess what? Just like Hedera, just like XRP, just like a lot of these tokens, there's a lot behind it. There's enough behind it to push it to these market caps because of how much substance there is. So as we look at what's going on here, do I think that Casper could be, a big runner in the next market? And do I think that Casper could shock a lot of people? In fact, could shock the entire market? 100%. But you need to understand that this FUD that we're seeing and all of the negativity in this market, it's usually coming from individuals that are over-invested, or it's individuals that want to find a problem with the project. There will always be fake FUD. There will always be negativity, and there will always be something wrong with a project no matter how good it looks. But don't get yourselves riled up and shaken out of bags that could ultimately result in incredible price movements. Now, that does not mean marry your bags or anything like that. You should always be taking your initial investment out when you feel confident enough to do so, and de-risk when it is possible, because at the end of the day, this is a speculative market. But I always say, diversify, choose your holdings, and have conviction to them. Don't go around and, trading this bag for that bag and swapping this one for that just because of green candles. Don't chase green candles. We are not here to do that. We don't do that here. We chase consolidation, sideways movement before the big moves to the upside. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord on the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Peace out.